We are now in an interglacial where the ice caps have been melting for thousands of years. 20,000 and 30,000, 50,000 years ago, we were in a deep ice age where the ice on both poles built up. I don't believe this was caused by the Milankovitch cycle. Maybe it was, but my theory is that the sun and all the planets move through space in a repetitive cycle through space, as though we're orbiting another star, and we're part of a group of stars, and this cluster of stars is the result of a nebula that exploded millions of years ago, hundreds of millions of years ago, even billions of years ago, say 5 billion years ago. From the debris of this huge exploded star, several smaller secondary stars formed, including our sun and the planets that revolve around the sun. They are in perfect or near perfect orbit because any planetoid astral body that failed to assume a perfect orbit was ejected or was smashed into smithereens. And perhaps that's the origin of the asteroid belt. If my theory is correct, if we are a part of a larger star system, and this star system moves independently of the other stars, and our sun tends to move in a repetitive cycle that perhaps brings us to the same point again and again in relation to this larger star system, approximately every 110,000 years. If we were to pass through clouds of interstellar dust and gas in a repetitive, repeating cycle again and again, if we passed through a cloud of dust and out of this cloud of dust and back in again and back out again every 110,000 years as we orbited another star, which is a part of the star system which formed from this nebula, the result of an exploded star, a nova, supernova, billions of years ago. We have a stellar neighborhood, according to my theory. We're not one single star, the sun, independent of other stars. We are part of a group. We live in a neighborhood. And as we move through this neighborhood, we pass through clouds of interstellar gas. NASA admits that we are now in what they call the local cloud, for example, the local cloud. And nearby is what NASA calls the G cloud. There are different clouds of interstellar gas out in space in between us and the nearest star, Alpha Centauri, ABC, I believe it's 3 stars. Alpha Centauri is 3 stars. 3 stars. And this neighborhood of ours, of course, revolves around the spiral arms of the galaxy, around the core of the galaxy. But my theory is the presence of this gas, when we're immersed in this gas, solar radiation, cosmic radiation, subatomic particles that are called galactic cosmic rays. They're actually particles, but their original name was galactic cosmic rays, GCR. These particles would be moderated by this gas. The gas would diffuse these particles through collisions, cause these GCRs to diffuse and scatter and become less dense. When we pass out of the cloud of moderating gas and dust, the GCRs will become more intense. This is my theory of extreme climate change. It's our movement through space, our position relative to clouds of cosmic dust and gas that causes the extreme climate changes. That's one of the factors. I'm convinced that the climate machine, the climate system of the Earth is complex and not well understood. So we have interstellar clouds of gas and dust in space. We have what we call clouds in the Earth's atmosphere composed of water droplets. They're not water molecules, they are water droplets. Water has a very unique property. One end of the water molecule is positive and the other end is negative, so that water molecules are attracted to one another, producing what is known as surface tension. A water droplet is not attracted to another water droplet, it is actually repelled by this other water droplet. Water droplets need no condensation nuclei. They form automatically based on temperature. Because when water vapor is hot, the individual molecules are vibrating very fast and they're repelling one another. They don't attach because this attractive force between one molecule of water and another molecule of water is weak. The water has to cool and vibrate less and come closer to its neighboring water molecules for this attractive force to come into play. When water vapor droplets are warmed, these droplets disappear because the individual molecules become more active, move faster, vibrate more, and spread apart. So the thing that causes clouds has nothing to do with so-called cloud condensation nuclei. It takes a nuclei to cause these water vapor droplets to condense together and make a raindrop. A raindrop requires a condensation nuclei, such as a dust particle, to break the surface tension between all of these droplets which are not attracted to each other. The individual molecules of water are attracted. They form bubbles, droplets of water that are, and the individual droplets are not attracted to one another. They're actually repelled. So what would cause more clouds would be temperature. The cause of clouds is temperature, solely temperature. Cosmic radiation doesn't necessarily produce clouds. Cosmic radiation might encourage water droplets to form and fall out in the form of precipitation from these clouds. The thing that causes clouds would be temperature. All right, a dust cloud, a cloud of interstellar gas and dust, is warmer than empty space. If we passed out of a interstellar dust cloud into empty space, yes, we would get more cosmic radiation, but we would experience a drop in temperature. We would be inside cold space, as opposed to warm space. Our passage into cold space would increase the amount of clouds in the Earth's atmosphere. An increase in the amount of clouds alters this self-regulating system. whereby water vapor remains relatively constant. Cold space produces the glacial episodes that we've experienced repetitively about every 110,000 years for the past couple of million years. Cold space created, in my opinion, Homo sapiens. We are the children of climate change, extreme climate change, as detailed in another video. I believe I called it the children of climate change. But our movement throughout our stellar neighborhood, through clouds of interstellar gas, causes these glacial episodes, not the Milankovitch cycle.